Motion, State of the Nation Address 2026 by His Excellency the President of the Republic.
On behalf of both sides of this assembly, I now have the singular honor and privilege to respectfully invite His Excellency Mr. Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, to deliver the 2026 State of the Nation Address in fulfillment of his constitutional mandate. Your Excellency.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the National Assembly, my Lordship, the Chief Justice and Superior Judges, former Vice President here present, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and the Consular Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with Section 77(1) of the Constitution, it is my singular honor and delight to deliver the 2026 State of the Nation Address before this Honorable Assembly. Recognizing that this is the final State of the Nation Address for this 5-year presidential term, the address comes at a defining moment in our national journey. It has come at a time when Gambians are reflecting on the progress made this far and currently preparing to make important decisions on the future of our country. Since 2017, our nation has traveled a demanding but determined path. From democratic renewal through economic recovery to institutional rebuilding and national stabilization. The task before my administration was not only to govern, but also to restore trust, rebuild systems, and lay foundations that would endure for generations to come. Over the years, our policies and programs have consistently been guided by strong planning frameworks and informed roadmaps to design and steer national development initiatives and accountability mechanisms. In the short term, the Recovery Focus National Development Plan Year 2023-2027 will continue to drive the consolidation of our gains and acceleration of the ongoing socio-economic transformation process across all development sectors in the country. Briefly, this address provides a concise account of my administration's major achievements, though provoking challenges and strategic gains to protect and build upon as we move forward. These issues are thematized, beginning with the state of our economy. The economy, Mr. Speaker, in this volatile global environment, marked by uncertainties, inflationary pressures, and geopolitical shocks, the Gambian economy continues to demonstrate remarkable resilience. Supported largely by construction, agriculture, tourism, trade, telecommunications, and other services. Real GDP growth was estimated at 5.9% in 2025, compared to 5.7% in 2024. Correspondingly, inflation declined from 10.2% in December 2024 to about 6.6% by December 2025.
Who is standing on the point of order? For you, Councillor. May I hear your point of order?
Honourable Speaker, 17 left. The clerk is under the parliamentary decisions. I thought their clerk, so that's what I'm saying.
Honourable member. Honourable members. Please, as much as possible, let's try to keep this possible. Yes, honourable member for Lower Parliament. Akhola Croissant. Honourable member of Kiang West, please stop talking to honourable members across the floor. You address the speaker. Honourable member of Kiang West. Kiang West. I am not entertaining anything. Please, honourable member of Kiang West, what I want you to avoid is talking to members across the floor. Please avoid that. Address all your comments to the chair. Honourable members, I have heard what the honourable member for you, Councillor, said. I was not aware of a clerk. I heard honourable members knocking the table. So can we please allow His Excellency the President to continue his address? And as much as possible, let's try and avoid unnecessary disruption of the session. Please, Honourable President.
Reflecting tight monetary policy and improve domestic supply conditions. The 2026 budget projects a total revenue and grants of $50.3 billion, with $32.2 billion mobilized from domestic sources. Public debt projected at 68.8% of GDP in 2026 has been stabilized and placed on a sustainable downward path. As of December 2025, the national debt to GDP ratio declined to 71.8% from 73.6% in 2024. Positively too, boosted by substantial remittances, grants and tourism receipts, the Gambian dalasi remained broadly stable against major trading currencies. In appreciation of this, I recognize the significant contributions of our compatriots in the diaspora, who continue to provide critical support to household incomes and overall economic stability. In 2025, such remittances amounted to $872 million, representing 34% of GDP. The government remains firmly committed to reforming and restructuring our state-owned enterprises, to improve performance, strengthen governance, and reduce contingent liabilities. The government has demonstrated its strong commitment to reform by establishing the State-Owned Enterprises SOE Commission as part of a broader agenda to restructure and transform SOEs. This initiative aims to enhance performance, strengthen governance frameworks, and mitigate contingent liabilities. The aggregate financial position of SOEs underwent a remarkable transformation in 2025. The sector achieved a historic consolidated net profit of $2.5 billion, a stark reversal from the $2.6 billion loss recorded in 2024. The evidence shows that stronger oversight measures, performance contracts, and closer monitoring of key performance indicators are beginning to deliver results. Notably, for the first time, 5 state enterprises are expected to pay dividends to government, marking a significant turnaround in the financial performance of the sector. Evidently, therefore, these outcomes are the results of prudent economic management and difficult but necessary policy choices made in the national interest, demonstrating that the ongoing reforms are beginning to yield tangible results. Trade, industry, and job creation. Mr. Speaker, to transform our economic structure, we are investing in industrial parks, urban agricultural hubs, and special economic zones, those moving the Gambia away from raw exports towards value addition, manufacturing, and exports. In 2025, we strengthened trade governance competition and regional integration to support inclusive economic growth. Reforms are currently in progress on the Essential Commodities Act 2015 to improve stock and prices monitoring while preserving a liberal market system. Mr. Speaker, my government will soon introduce a bill to address both competition and consumer protection under one legislation, with plans to repeal the Competition Act 2007 and the Consumer Protection Act 2014. On regional integration, the Gambia secured key ECOWAS positions for the 2026-2030 mandate, including Director General of Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, JIPA, and a judge at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice. At the national level in 2025, the Gambia Import and Export Promotion Agency, GIPA, facilitated the attraction and awarding of special investment certificates and exports processing zone licenses to 16 businesses, with a total planned investment of $204 million. This is expected to create job opportunities. Irregular migration continues to rob our nation of its youth. We are treating this issue with utmost urgency by creating opportunities for decent jobs, skills development, and legal labor pathways through strengthening TVET systems and bilateral labor agreements for safe, regular, and orderly migration. Gambians are now working legally in Europe and in the Middle East. Mr. Speaker, Infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. My administration continues to work tirelessly to close the infrastructure gap. Since 2017, the government has constructed over 1,200 kilometers of all-weather roads, significantly improving national connectivity. In 2025, the 84-kilometer Nyomi-Hakalan Road was inaugurated, and the Kiang West and Bluefoot-Madiana-Banyaka roads have reached advanced stages. Phase 3 of the OIC road has progressed satisfactorily, with completion of the Sukuta overpass expected this year. By the end of 2026, my government will have added an additional 375 kilometers of paved roads to the overall network. This expansion is being implemented through an engineering, procurement and construction EPC model fully funded by the government of the Gambia at an estimated cost of $9 billion. Additionally, through innovative financing methods, the construction of over 700 kilometers of new roads will commence soon. These new roads were strategically selected to complement the already existing network. Furthermore, with funding from the World Bank supported Giraffe project, the government will shortly lay the foundation stone for approximately 200 kilometers of roads in the rural part of our local government areas. Statistically, upon completion of these projects, my government will register more than 50% of the 4,000 kilometer total survey roads nationwide. I am fully committed to ensuring that all communities are connected with a reliable means of transportation. In maritime transport, port operations have been modernized, significantly reducing cargo waiting time at the port of Banjul from 14 days to less than 1 day, precisely 17 hours.
Honorable member for Young West. 17? Order 17? 8. Yeah, go ahead.
Travelers shall not be permitted in the jail. Honorable Speaker, we still insist that the rules of this have been respected. This is a rule that travelers are permitted in this jail, and people have to be glad. Please, can you move out?
Honorable member, you must begin to respect the Speaker's ruling. If you want to challenge my ruling, you have to put in a substantive motion. I am saying that I am not that clapping. Honorable member of Young West, you are talking about order, and you are out of order yourself by agreeing with the Honorable member, sit down, otherwise you will go outside. If you don't want to listen, you will ask to go. Sit down. Honorable members, honorable members, please. It is easy to identify people out of order when you yourself are going out of order. Before you ask people to be in order, let's say you yourself you are in order. Please, let's avoid unnecessary disruption. Your Excellency.
Concurrently, preparatory works are progressing for the Sanyang Deep Sea Port.
Honorable members, if you don't want to listen, you can go, you may want to go out. Allow others to listen. Please. Honorable, don't sit on the floor and be talking to the speaker without permission. Please. I'm not giving you all. I'm not giving you permission. No, you have no cause to talk. You know that it is in order for members to not be paid. Why do you have to argue about that? Honorable members, let's please allow His Excellency to give his address, please, and avoid unnecessary interruptions. Your Excellency.
Concurrently, preparatory works are progressing for the Sanyang Deep Sea Port ahead of the commencement of construction works this year. Maritime services will be further strengthened with the recent delivery of an eco-friendly ferry. The arrangement will reduce waiting time and ease traffic flow from Banjul to Barrow. Thereby improving market access for farmers and traders in the North Bank, particularly women. In line with the government's liberal air transport policy, the Gambia and Senegal have agreed to domesticate air services between the two states. Both states have either waived or significantly reduced passenger charges on air tickets, which will greatly lower the cost of travel between the two countries. In addition, my government is working on an airport modernization project that includes the construction of an ultra-modern passenger terminal building and other related airport infrastructure. Hopefully, this project will be implemented through a public-private partnership, PPP. Land administration and regional governance. Mr. Speaker, the government advanced key reforms to modernize land administration and strengthen local governance. A landmark national land policy 2026-2035 was recently approved and launched to improve tenure security, harmonize land administration, and promote digitization. An assessment has been conducted to evaluate the current structures for the development of a land information system. The land information system will establish a nationwide digital platform to secure and manage land records. One of its objectives is to enhance transparency in land administration and reduce land disputes. These reforms, supported by an ongoing review of the Local Government Acts, are laying the foundation for more transparent, efficient, and equitable land governance. Recognizing the important role of the Land Commission, the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs seek to revitalize it through the reinforcement of its oversight and dispute resolution roles. This is planned to enhance transparency, accountability, and fairness in land administration. The Ministry has also initiated a housing program that targets Gambians and offer flexible installment options to improve access to affordable housing. Currently, sample designs have been reviewed and sites identified for the fourth phase of the scheme. The Department of Boundary Management under the Ministry of Lands has been established to strengthen and safeguard the Gambia's borders at both national and international levels. The department is to collaborate with the relevant institutions and neighboring authorities to prevent and resolve boundary-related issues, protect territorial integrity, and promote national security. Energy, Mr. Speaker. My government has made decisive reforms and investments across the energy, petroleum, and mining sectors. I am thus pleased to report that we have achieved 90% national energy access and remain on course to attain universal access by the end of 2026. To fast-track this objective, my government has allocated $397 million in the 2026 budget to expand electricity services to the remaining unelectrified communities. In addition, as part of the modernization efforts of the National Electricity Network, we have completed and commissioned the country's first 225 kV transmission line. Together with a state-of-the-art National Control Center, these investments support our Universal Access Program, which is projected to be achieved by end 2026, ahead of the global 2030 timeline. Furthermore, I am proud to announce that as part of our drive to achieve universal access to electricity, through the Sustainable Energy Service Company, Cisco, the Gambia, 11 hospitals, 81 clinics, 823 schools nationwide have been solarized. While the significant gains in access are to be celebrated, we recognize the financial constraints to access that many households face. In this regard, to stabilize tariffs, the government allocated $1 billion in both the 2025 and 2026 budgets as subsidies to NAWEC. Central to our long-term energy security is our objective to increase domestic generation capacity. It is in this regard that the government has set in motion a plan to deliver a 150 megawatt solar park in Somo that will cater for both domestic and export markets. So far, the fourth stage of the solar park is at an advanced stage, with the tender for a 50 megawatt plant completed. The Gambia petroleum sector continues to gather interest in the industry. Recently, the Ministry of Petroleum, Energy and Mines granted licenses to 3 companies to undertake exploration, development, and production activities in existing open blocks. This marks a significant milestone in reactivating upstream petroleum operations in the Gambia. In the area of mining, my government is promoting offshore sand dredging to meet demand exceeding 1 million cubic meters. We also issue licensing to deep-sea mineral prospecting, hence positioning the sector to support infrastructure development and diversify national revenues. Communication, digital economy. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, digital transformation acted as key driver of growth, jobs, and efficient governance. Mobile subscriptions surpassed 3.4 million. ICT sector employment increased by nearly 20%. and the sector's contribution to the economy exceeded $3.9 billion. Our digital government transformation efforts in 2026 will include the deployment of key services by the Gambia ICT agency, JICTA. These include e-visa and e-cabinet initiative for more effective and efficient delivery of such services. For the first time, we have a Data Protection and Privacy Act 2025. It is enacted to regulate the processing of personal data and reinforce a secure and investor-friendly digital environment. The SOE reform agenda is ongoing, with GAMTEL and GAMCEL identified as key institutions. A bill operate transfer BOT public-private partnership for GAMTEL is expected to mobilize $50 million. This will be used to modernize, upgrade and expand the core backbone and last-mile infrastructure, enhance competitiveness and maximize revenue growth. In line with the right sizing exercise of the staff, implementation of the social plan is well advanced. 642 staff members have exited after their full compensation payments. The remaining phases 3 and 4 are expected to be finalized by end March 2026. In striving to modernize public broadcasting, the government has reached an advanced stage in finding a private partner for Digital Gambia Limited to facilitate our transmission from analog to a digital system. Similarly, GRTS radio signal has been put on satellite, thus achieving nationwide radio broadcasts and beyond. To popularize and inform the people about development programs and policies, my government has initiated a flagship program called Mansakunda. Having successfully implemented 25 episodes in 2025, we will continue with this program and take it to the regions this year for wider participation. In January of this year, my administration, through the Ministry of Information, successfully launched another flagship program called the Minister to highlight government programs and policies in the local languages. This is part of the broader strategy to bring government policies and programs to the doorsteps of the people. Agriculture, fisheries, and water resources. Mr. Speaker, agriculture remains an other important sector, contributing over 22% to gross domestic product and sustaining the livelihood of most Gambian households. To boost productivity and food security, government continues to implement the National Seeds Program. Through it, over $703 million have been allocated towards seed and fertilizer subsidies and expansion of agricultural credit by an estimated 20%. The government also provided $300 million to recapitalize the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation. The crop production recorded strong gains, with total cereal output rising from 124,337 metric tons in 2024 to 131,798 metric tons in 2025. This includes an 11% increase in millet, 9% increase in rice production to 57,225 metric tons, and 5% increase in maize production. Cash crop production also strengthened, with groundnut output increasing by 16%, from 52,642 metric tons in 2024 to 61,043 metric tons in 2025. The yield prompted a government-backed $2 billion intervention to purchase up to 50,000 metric tons during the 2025-2026 trade season. Productivity and resilience were further reinforced through the procurement of 189 tractors and 20 rotavator boards, expanded irrigation and strengthened livestock health systems. This support includes increased vaccination coverage and positioning the sector for sustained growth, food security, and rural income stability. Mr. Speaker, my government also made major reforms, achievements in water and fisheries management to strengthen sustainability, resilience, and livelihoods, to improve access to clean drinking water in hard-to-reach areas. For instance, my government drilled 110 solar-powered pipe water systems across the country. 68 of these have been completed to serve 142 villages, benefiting about 82,896 people. The remaining 42 are due for completion by the end of the year. To further improve sanitation, over 300 household and public latrines were constructed in rural and riverside communities to prevent pollution of the water table. To promote safe and sustainable water extraction from boreholes, particularly in the urban area. My government, in collaboration with partners, is working on the development of a water abstraction licensing regulation to establish legal policy and operational frameworks for climate-smart water abstraction governance. On fisheries, the legal framework was comprehensively reviewed to combat illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, as well as to strengthen nationwide surveillance missions leading to more arrests and prosecution. These efforts contributed to total fisheries revenue of over $234 million in the fourth quarter of 2026. Human capital, education, and health. Mr. Speaker, my government continues to prioritize human capital development, with the 2026 budget allocating at least $10.5 billion to it. This represents 17.7% of total expenditure to education and health. To continually raise performance levels, significant investments have been made to improve the quality of learning. Part of this is the completion of 336 teachers' quarters across 47 schools. Delivery of science and technical equipment valued at $2 million to 29 schools. And the distribution of more than 1.5 million textbooks nationwide. To universalize access to education, in collaboration with our partners, we implemented programs to bring 74,000 marginalized children back into the formal education system from 2023 to 2025. Recognizing that strong foundational skills are essential for lifelong learning, my government has intensified its focus on early grade education. With support from the World Bank, the government has embarked on the development and implementation of structured pedagogy and foundational learning programs. Digital learning was introduced to 122 schools in 2025. These schools are now equipped with smart televisions, laptops, projectors, and other IT equipment to prepare our students for a better future. The use of 7 national languages was piloted in 63 schools to reinforce equity, quality, and resilience across the education system. In relation to tertiary education and skills development, my administration has invested more than $7.6 billion in the University of the Gambia. Most of the faculties have now moved to the Farababanta mega campus. These complements the USAID campus inaugurated last June in Brikama. On access to tertiary education, the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, the National Research and Innovation Fund, and the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund have been established. The objective is to ensure that tuition does not limit anyone's potential and to expand opportunities for research and innovation. Health, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this year, my administration has allocated $3.1 billion to the health sector to support ongoing expansion of primary health care, upgrading facilities, and service delivery improvement. In 2025, major infrastructure investments progress at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, Kanifing General Hospital, and regional health centers. Meanwhile, the National Food and Drug Testing Laboratory and the Farato Emergency Treatment Center are in their final phases of completion. As part of efforts to strengthen frontline service delivery, we have procured 52 fully equipped ambulances, 6 supervisory vehicles, 61 motorcycles, 157 bicycles, and 20 tricycles to support immunization, outreach, and emergency referrals. In addition, we will soon establish an ambulance command center for national emergency medical response. At the same time, expanded postgraduate training for health professionals is strengthening the national health workforce and building a more resilient and people-centered health system. Quite notably, for the first time, dentists and pharmacists have been trained in the country, with the inaugural cohort expected to graduate this year. Youth, women, and social protection. Mr. Speaker, my government recognizes gender equality and women and youth empowerment as critical enablers for national development. In 2025, drawing on the Women Enterprise Fund, over $12 million was disbursed to 112 women groups. These benefited over 10,000 women. And additionally, 1,702 adolescent girls and young women were also supported through financial literacy initiative. Furthermore, they will receive a grand totaling to $117.2 million after their graduation this year. By utilizing the Social Protection Fund, government is supporting 5,400 beneficiaries of the Family Strengthening Program. They include people with disability, the elderly, orphans, and widows. These vulnerable people receive a monthly cash transfer of $1,000. To support low-income households for improved nutrition and food security, my government, through the NAFA Rice Project, continue to support over 29,000 vulnerable households. This support includes a monthly cash transfer of $1,500 to vulnerable households. Mr. Speaker, tapping into support to victims of gender-based violence fund, in December 2025, the government assisted 75 survivors. A total of $40,000 was given to each survivor. To prevent delays in administering justice on gender-based violence, a specialized court has been built to be inaugurated in the second quarter of 2026. The Gambia is the 6th country in Africa to establish a court of this nature. Similarly, following a need assessment exercise, $4 million was disbursed to 11 organizations of people with disability. Connected to this, to strengthen social work in the country, a Bachelor's of Arts degree course is now offered at the UTG to train social workers. In the area of child protection, a national children's policy was formulated in 2025 to cover emerging child protection issues. In addition, a national child protection strategy and action plan has been revised and adopted. Alongside these activities, in the establishment of a child rights center at the UTG, the center will offer BSc courses in children's rights and welfare, as well as conduct research on issues related to children. Likewise, a child rights monitoring unit has been established at the National Human Rights Commission. The Commission will work closely with the government and NGOs to monitor matters of welfare and rights of children in the Gambia. Mr. Speaker, youth development remains another priority for my government. Key interventions include youth agricultural training under the Gambia Songhai Initiative, entrepreneurship, training under MEDI, and dedicated university programs under the National Youth Service Graduate Program. Governance, justice, and public service reform. Institutional reform remains one of the most outstanding achievements of this government. Consequently, we continue to strengthen the rule of law, accountability, and access to justice through far-reaching justice sector reforms. Landmark legislation such as the Election Act 2025, the Criminal Offences Act 2025, and the Criminal Procedure Act 2025 have modernized our legal framework. They have replaced outdated colonial-era laws with right-based contemporary standards aligned with international human rights obligations. These reforms now enhance electoral integrity, safeguard freedom of expression, strengthen protection against corruption, and sexual and gender-based violence. Together, these legislations have reinforced due process across the criminal justice system. Mr. Speaker, significant progress has also been recorded in advancing transitional justice, reparation, and accountability. The government has fully implemented 60 Truth, Reconciliation, and Reparation Commission's recommendations, with 141 ongoing. The Reparation Commissions became fully operational with 7 commissioners sworn in. Government allocated $20 million to the reparations fund in 2025, with an additional allocation confirmed for 2026. Concurrently, the legal and institutional frameworks for prosecuting serious human rights violations were strengthened through the Special Prosecutor's Office architecture, the establishment of a special criminal division of the High Court, and ongoing collaboration with regional partners to ensure that impunity for grave crimes is decisively addressed. Access to justice and integrity in the public service have been enhanced further through the expansion of legal aid services nationwide, the rollout of a digital case management system across justice institutions, and the modernization of key registries. Among them is the company registry and intellectual property systems. In December 2025, the National Assembly confirmed the commissioners of the Anti-Corruption Commission, positioning the country to intensify the fight against corruption and promote ethical governance. These reforms, together with the ongoing development of a justice sector strategy policy for 2026-2030, underscore my government's commitment to a justice system that is independent, transparent, efficient, and responsive to the needs of all Gambians. To improve public service delivery, we are preparing to launch the MyGov platform, This is currently at an advanced stage, with its deployment targeted this year. The platform will serve as the one-stop shop for high-volume priority services. These incorporate birth certification, national identification cards, passports, driver's license, and business registration. The eventual integration of the platform with GAM Suite under the central bank will enable the acceptance of Visa and MasterCard payments on the platform, in addition to other supported local digital wallets. We have also made significant progress in modernizing public service management through the ongoing development of a comprehensive human resource management information system. Once completed, this system will integrate personal records, the payroll, performance management, and pension administration into a single digital platform. Its objective embrace improving efficiency, accountability, evidence-based planning, and decision-making across government. The government has equally introduced a comprehensive performance management framework to promote accountability and results. The framework links planning, budgeting, and performance assessment to make sure that public institutions and officials are held accountable. Defense, security, and national stability. Mr. Speaker, peace and stability remain the foundation upon which all development depends. We have made significant progress in the security sector reform, strengthening internal security, public safety, and democratic oversight. As a result of these sustained efforts, the Gambia is now ranked the safest country in West Africa and the Gambia is now ranked the safest country in West Africa, fourth safest in Africa, according to Business Insider Africa. This achievement reflects the growing confidence in our national institutions and the unwavering commitment of our security services to safeguarding the country and its people. Law enforcement performance is improving, as indicated by the arrest of a number of dangerous criminals last year. They include fugitives linked to armed robbery, murder, and other high-profile cases, thus suggesting growing efficiency within the security services and raising crime detection trend in the country. In the same manner, border control was strengthened through the rollout of the Migration Information and Data Analysis System and the integrated immigration systems. A major milestone was the enactment of the National Security Council Act 2025, which completed the Gambia's national security architecture to enhance strategic oversight, accountability, and interagency cooperation. Drug enforcement efforts recorded significant successes. Over 1,170 drug-related cases were handled, and the conviction rate increased by about 98%, alongside progress on the establishment of a regional treatment and rehabilitation center. Tourism, arts, and culture. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, the tourism sector recorded 233,113 tourist arrivals, representing a 3% increase over 2024. By the same token, micro, small, and medium enterprises were strengthened, with over 120 enterprises supported and 50% of them securing buyer-supplier linkages, with investment in coastal protection and new training programs, position the sector for resilient growth. $1.4 million US in matching grants was approved for businesses as well. The government successfully secured a UNESCO funding of $100,000 US for our cultural heritage preservation project. So far, 90 intangible cultural elements have been documented. A major upgrades of Fort Bullen and the Mango Park Memorial have been undertaken. Relatedly, the Gambia has earned UNESCO's recognition of the historic Georgetown in the Central River region. Diplomacy and global engagement. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, my government strengthened its international standing and strategic partnerships. We continue to play leading roles in international community as chair of the OIC. Key milestones registered include the fourth EU-Gambia partnership meeting under the Samoa Agreement and participation in the EU-AU Summit. I take this opportunity to express sincere appreciation to all our bilateral and multilateral partners whose technical, financial, and policy support continues to complement the government efforts and strengthen our national response to development challenges. Climate and the environment. Climate change and land governance are defining challenges of our time. However, we delivered measurable progress in climate resilience and environmental protection. 5-year, €6.9 million Gambia Resilient Project was launched last year to restore and sustainably manage over 1,000 hectares of mangroves across 5 protected areas. This is directly benefiting 180 communities and advancing the Gambia's national climate commitment. My administration also developed the fourth National Disaster Risk Mitigation Plan 2026-2033, provided lean season assistance to over 1,100 households, and provided housing support for families affected by the 2022 floods. An early warning legal and regulatory framework was strengthened through the enactment of the National Early Warning and Response Mechanism Act 2025. With similar resolve, decisive enforcement against environmental degradation led to the interception and prosecution of persons linked to 30 trucks of illegal harvested timber. Simultaneously, expanded community forestry support has broadened and strengthened conservation outcomes and livelihoods. Concluding remarks, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable National Assembly members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as required by the Constitution, my address provides an account of the current state of affairs of the nation. It focuses on the overall administration of our country, zeroing in on major policies, programs, legislation, achievements, challenges, and future direction. As we reflect on the progress made by my administration and the challenges ahead, my message to all Gambians is that we recommit ourselves to a more resilient and progressive Gambia based on the principles of IRWA, the National Development Plan. Mr. Speaker, my government recognizes that despite the progress made in 2025, challenges linger on. We are aware, for example, of the continuous cost of living pressures on many households. Hence the heavy investment in agriculture to boost our food self-sufficiency drive through local production. We continue to provide support to ease the challenges associated with smallholder farming and the subsistence nature of our agriculture. Our output support through subsidies is to ensure farmers spend less and earn much more from their produce. The price of granules last year exemplified this. In the medium to long term, we will continue investing in mechanization to improve overall agricultural productivity. In addition to persistent climate risks, addressing irregular migration and youth employment urgently requires sustained attention. My government will continue to work with partners to address these pressing challenges through skills development and private sector-led investment. Healthcare access and quality improved tremendously over the last decade, but we will continue striving for greater achievements and better health outcomes. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the National Assembly, and fellow Gambians, looking back, the Gambia today is more stable, more connected, better governed than it was a decade ago. Functional institutions have been established, relevant systems strengthened, and solid foundations laid for more significant outcomes. The task ahead is to consolidate these gains, maintain a vibrant and diversified economy, protect democratic stability, and continue building a resilient and inclusive nation. As we reflect on our journey together, let us reaffirm our commitment to justice and good governance. Our courts, institutions, and leaders in all spheres of work must continue to serve with integrity and ensure that every Gambian feels seen, heard, and respected. This is not a perfect path, but it is the path of progress. It is the path that demands patience, accountability, dialogue, and the courage to correct ourselves when we falter. We extend a hand of friendship to all friendly nations, near and far, and we do so conscious that our voice carries the weight of our people's dignity. Mr. Speaker, my government will continue to build roads, schools, hospitals, and energy systems that connect our communities and power our future. These foundations are not merely concrete and steel. They are lifeline opportunities, symbolizing the promise that every child born in the Gambia can dream beyond limits. My administration will continue its drive for digital transformation in all sectors of the economy, especially to inform government service delivery and enhance tax collection and accountability. The ongoing reforms in the telecommunication sector will continue with a view to improving efficiency, affordability, quality of service to consumers and returns on investment. Mr. Speaker, my government reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the principles of gender equality, and we recognize the vital importance of empowering our women and youth. We will continue creating opportunities for girls and women and insist on strengthening them, treating them with dignity. As an obligation, we are determined to mainstream gender equality and recognize women in our governance structure and systems. By upholding these values, we will build a stronger, fairer, and more united nation where every citizen can contribute to and benefit from our collective progress. Likewise, we recognize the vital role of our development partners, whose support has been instrumental in advancing our national priorities. Their solidarity reminds us that the Gambia is not alone in its pursuit of growth and stability. With their partnership, we are better equipped to transform challenges into opportunities and to ensure that no Gambian is left behind. Mr. Speaker, honorable members and fellow Gambians, as we approach the 2026 presidential election, I call on all political parties, candidates and supporters to conduct their campaign in a spirit of peace, tolerance and mutual respect. Elections are a cornerstone of our democracy, and they must strengthen rather than divide us. Together with the Independent Electoral Commission and all relevant institutions, my government remains fully committed to ensuring that the upcoming election is conducted in a peaceful, transparent, credible and orderly manner. I urge every Gambian to uphold the values of unity, dialogue and national cohesion so that the outcome of the election reflects the will of the people and further consolidates our democratic gains. Mr. Speaker, also call on all Gambians to join my government in building the Gambia we aspire. We may not have the Gambia of our dreams yet, but we are shaping it with every effort, every sacrifice, and every act of service. Together, we are writing a story of resilience and hope, a story that says to the world, the Gambia is rising, and although the journey is long, our resolve is unshakable. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, I sincerely thank my cabinet members, the judiciary, the legislature, our public servants, the private sector, civil society organizations, and the security and intelligence services, as well as all Gambians and friends of the Gambia for our successes. I pray that we continue to work closely in harmony and strive for sustained peace, stability, security, progress, and inclusive development. I thank you all for your kind attention.